Inside a Kodak laboratory, a 24-year-old engineer is holding a strange device. 8 pounds, black and white, 23 seconds to capture a single photograph. He carries it upstairs to show his superiors. This man has just invented the world's first digital camera. The executives look at the device, then at each other, and then they say the following: "Cute, but don't tell anyone about this." This device was going to kill Kodak, and Kodak knew it. You're probably doing the same thing right now. Think back to that yellow box for a moment. The year is 1996. Kodak is at the peak of its history. $16 billion in revenue, 145,000 employees, and most importantly, 9 out of every 10 rolls of film sold in America were theirs. Kodak Moment is no longer just an advertising slogan. It has entered the language itself. People are defining the most important instance of their lives: births, graduations, final goodbyes, by Kodak's name. The company is so vast it has its own zip code. The entire economy of Rochester runs on Kodak. Employees' children work there too, and it's assumed their children will as well. Nobody can imagine how this empire could ever end, because the thing that will end it is locked inside their own vaults. Let's go back. 1975. An engineer named Stephen Sasson had done something that comes along once in a generation. He had invented the future. He had handed it to his company with open arms, but the company had pulled its hands back. Except they hadn't rejected it. That's the strange part. They had taken the technology seriously. In 1979, Kodak's own internal report, written by their own analysts, made the following prediction: digital imaging would replace film by 2010. They were off by about a year. So why did they stop? Why didn't they go digital? Because they did, actually. And that's where it gets truly painful. In 1991, they released the first professional digital cameras. The price? $13,000. Not set to open a market, set to protect their own film sales. Because the math was this: the profit margin on a roll of film was around 60%. The profit margin on a digital camera was 5%. Kodak had seen the future. They had seen the money in the future. But that money was 1/10 of what they were making today. And people, companies, empires, none of them will willingly take 10 steps backward for 1 step forward. By the way, if stories like this one, stories that drag hidden truths into the open, aren't in your feed yet, you know what to do. By 2001, film sales hit their all-time peak. And then, they didn't decline. They fell off a cliff. Kodak panicked. They made a desperate, belated charge into digital. And here's what makes it even stranger. By 2005, they were the best-selling digital camera brand in America. On the surface, they had done it. But every digital camera sold meant a dozen rolls of film that weren't. Every dollar gained meant $10 lost. They were selling themselves out. They just realized it far too late. Across the Pacific, they had a rival called Fujifilm, facing the same threat, equally dependent on film. But their CEO, Shigetaka Komori, said something different. To save ourselves, we had to tear down our own house. Fujifilm took its chemical expertise and pivoted into cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and LCD display coatings. It refused to disappear. It refused itself, and it survived. January 19th, 2012. The Eastman Kodak Company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. It was 124 years old. The company that had built the future had written its own death notice, and then chosen to look away. Kodak's story is not about failing to see. They saw. This story actually has a name. In 1979, the exact same year Kodak was writing its own internal report, 2 Israeli researchers named Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky identified a strange feature of the human brain. Losing something hurts roughly twice as much as gaining the same thing feels good. In other words, the joy of gaining $100 is only about half as powerful as the pain of losing $100. They called it loss aversion. And that is precisely what Kodak did. They weren't stupid. They weren't short-sighted. They weren't even blind. They were among the first people on Earth to see the future clearly. But going into that future meant letting go of what they had. What they stood to gain was enormous. But what they stood to lose felt even bigger. So they stepped back, they closed their fists, and they suffocated inside those same closed fists. They didn't reject the future, they were afraid of it. Because the future meant the present becoming worthless. Now look in the mirror. You're doing this too. Every day, even right now. There's a job you've known for years has taken from you far more than it's ever given back. You're still there. Because leaving feels like losing the 15 years you already put in. There's a relationship that stopped making you grow years ago. You're still in it. Because ending it feels like declaring all that time a waste. There's a belief you've known for years is rotting underneath you. You're still holding on to it. Because letting it go means admitting you've built your entire life on the wrong foundation. You're not holding on to safety. You're holding on because you're afraid of losing it. Those are not the same thing. Kodak felt safe too. Right up until the day it filed for bankruptcy. The future is standing right in front of you. You can see it. You may have even invented it yourself. The question is, can you let go of what's in your hands to reach for it? Inside a Kodak laboratory, a 24-year-old engineer is holding the future in his hands. Cute. But don't tell anyone about this.